So, oh boy. Just lead on the basic. No need to take pain where you don't have to. Right click, jam. Eight more to go. Oh boy, serum visions? Oh, duress? About that whammy. Yeah, just. It's just so awkward because the best card in my hand's Goblin Guide. My opponent's probably Grixis Twin. That's just kind of like the stock thing to do with that deck is play duress. So I think I'm just supposed to fetch a basic and suspend Riftbolt here. That's cute. I was really worried until I remembered I still had the Riftbolt. And the reason I did that in that specific order is, or targeted the snap instead of my opponent, is I think that the extra Goblin Guy being in play is probably worth more than the. Basically, I recoup 2 of the damage immediately on that attack. So I think this Goblin Guide is more than 50% to getting 2 damage over the next X turns. This is probably Exarch. Oh, Cryptic. That's fine. This game is interestingly close for, like, just every part of it. Like, it feels like both of our draws are, like, just out of coming together. Well, we know about a Dispel. Um, I feel like I'm just supposed to jam this here. Player on Dispel. While my opponent's tapped down. That could have been wrong. Actually, maybe I was supposed to save it. Like, I'm playing to draw multiple sorceries, but that's kind of like a loose redraw. I don't know. That's actually an interesting decision. Like, I could save it so I could draw an instant, bait the Dispel, and then potentially get more than 3 damage out of it. Which may be better. This Exarch. I know my opponent's drawing another Exarch. Probably dead here. Just based on the way things have played out. Kind of feels like my opponent has some kind of in-hand action. Like a twin that they haven't been using. Electrolyze the other Goblin Guide. Oh, command. So my opponent's 2 counterspells deep. It's kind of an issue. I do have a long time before I lose this game. Or a very short time. It's hard to tell. I think I'm just supposed to pass. So if I just play the Eidolon, I'm just going to get Cryptic. I kind of want to lead on a bait spell so I can't get Snap Cryptic that turn. For the record, looking at this game, I think that trying to land that command at that spot was correct. Discarded Remand. Yeah, not very good at this point. I have a feeling this means Splinter Twin plus Dispel, but I could be wrong. No? I think I want to fetch here. Not really too interested in keeping up an instant speed Searing Blaze at any point this game. I'd much rather have the life. Think this gets cast here because it forces the crack of the Scalding Tarn to put my opponent to 4, which in theory lets me force through a Boros Charm at some point this game. That's fine. Just get all my mana producing lands into play so I don't take damage when I play them. Second Exarch's not very good for my opponent. We're probably going to lose this game relatively soon. A lot sooner now. And when I was talking about forcing the crack on the Tarn, I was more talking about if my opponent had the Snapcaster Cryptic. Yeah, we're just going to get Lighthouse out of this game eventually. I guess if I draw like 5 straight instants and my instant speed burn spells and my opponent draws trash, I could win. Could just force some weird showdowns. Didn't need that anyways. So my opponent has Dispel Snapcaster in hand. Kind of just want to wait and play the Rift Bolt. Like, I start a fight on my opponent's end step and then I Rift Bolt later. They didn't shuffle after the Dispel reveal, right? I don't really think that changes my line much anyways. I'm going to dig through for this, really. Yeah. So it was before this. Yeah, so there's a Dispel and a Snapcaster in my opponent's hand, known from the Kolagon's command and a Goblin Guide trigger. Playing the land there is just kind of like a... I don't really know how much it matters when I play it, but we'll see. Okay. Okay. Like, with this many backup lands, I'd rather just play it now and, like, try to potentially give away false information about my hand than, like, play it when I'm going to discard my opponent's, like... I guess it's not really that much information either way. I know about 2 counter spells. I was actually supposed to suspend last turn, I think. I think this is the showdown. Actually, I'm not at any rush at all to go for it. Yeah, showdown is next turn. Or my opponent's end step into my next turn. I think it actually might be now. I get kind of interrupted by a remand. I'm saving the Boros Charm for last. So that I can potentially trap my opponent into fetching and then Boros Charm him. I feel like at some point in there I should have just died, but I don't know what point it was. And we're fighting with the Dispel on the stack so it can't get Snapcastered. Well, my opponent has to do something about that. Act. Yeah. Remand. Resolves. Oh, remanding the Dispel. Okay. I don't I don't think that does what you want it to. But okay. No need to borrow Charm in response there. We're just waiting for our opponent to tap down to try and beat this Lightning Bolt. Because 1 mana can be Spell Snare. And that's the card that I'm trying to, like, save. Like, I don't want my opponent to be able to 1 mana interact in the middle of all this. How did we win this game? Have we won this game? Our opponent has to have, like, Dispel Spell Snare to not be dead here, right? Okay, I guess that works. What? What was that game? I'm not gonna even try to figure it out. So there's an interesting question about if this card's good. I think Searing Blaze is easily the worst card in the deck. Don't really like Molten Rain on the draw. Don't want... How many paths do I even want? Not even sure Skullcrack is worse than Searing Blaze. Not even sure I want that many paths. Something like this even might be right. I'm going to board this in on the play, but that's it. Skullcrack I don't think does anything here. Revelry is just too conditional, like if they just have... These lists usually have like 2 spell skites at most. I'm not too big of a fan of just having Revelries for that. But that does make me want an additional path instead of a Blaze. Though I don't really like Helix. I think I'd rather have Blaze so I can like Blaze down a Snapcaster profitably. This seems right. Though I guess the one Rending Volley may be the tip off that... Yeah, this is fine. The one Rending Volley may suggest that the right number of paths in this matchup is 1, assuming the person who made that list, put in the work or something. Who does that? So, just going to lead on the mountain. Just always leading with the land that... I mean, there's reasons not to, but in this case, it's always just like, I'm not really going to get into a board state where I need the red and the green in the same turn early. So I'm just going to lead on the land that... like that. Lead on the land that doesn't immediately cost me life and let me make my decision later. Oh, shoot. I should have played a land first, so if my opponent just played a Snapcaster here, I can bolt it down. Yep. And immediately punished for a terrible play. Playing the white land, so I have access to Boros Charm next turn. I need to get out of the habit of playing my land second main. I just cost myself 6 damage there. Not 6, it's just 4, 3, 4, 3. Well, I think the play is just maximize damage here. Well, my opponent's tapped out. And hopefully it takes my opponent a while to win. But I guess if I have a mana out, my opponent might not snap there. Just out. Not even gonna bother. My opponent on taps, they could have any counter spell, and that's just not where I want to be. Don't snap electrolyze me, please. Best card I could draw is Searing Blaze. That would be nice. Boros Charm would be approximately equivalently nice. That card's fine. Forces our opponent to answer Swift Spear at some point. Exarch my white swords, probably. I think actually the Goblin Guide might have won me this game. I'd have to see my opponent's full hand. It would have been interesting. See, the guy would have gotten bolted. I would have the Grim. Yeah, it's pretty marginal. Like, it's definitely correct to have had the Goblin Guide, but maybe I was supposed to play the Tarn to bluff a path. I think my opponent has it. They're just going for it, though. That's fine by me. So this... really don't like path. And it's probably fine. Let's just have one. Have the Molten Rain on the play. I think you just have to be like really aggressive in this matchup and not really try to interact. Because the late game definitely favors them with Snapcaster Dispel and whatnot. I think the stock listed Grixis Twin has 3-ish Dispel style counters post board, Dispels or Negates. I don't remember if it's 2-1 Dispel or 2-1 Negate. Not too big of a difference for me. Oh, Cuneo. Oh, down a match. So this is an interesting hand. I don't think I can keep. What I keep on the draw though? Well, I think this card becomes a blank on the draw effectively though. Yeah, there's just too much risk if I don't hit. Ugh. I think I like this better than a. I don't even know if that's true. Is this better than a 5? I have a feeling Mulligan's the right choice here, but it's really close. All the regrets. It's better than a 3. I think like any 5 with a 1-drop is in a land is better than that 6. I think I might actually be in this if I draw a land from here. So, yeah, it's just like I guess like that's the debate is if a 5 with a 1-drop is actually more likely than oh, interesting. This is turning out to be a match. Oh, this is no longer a match. My opponent was stuck on 2. It would have been really interesting. I'm gonna have to do some numbers on that. Yeah, I'd rather the Swiss Spirit play long term, I think. Electrolyze. That's fine. Untap the. Yep. Trade. Yep. Good. Not dead yet. That's still fine. This implies that I'm just going to get Splinter Twinned. My opponent throwing away cards to just not be... Yeah, okay. Okay, so odds of... It's like 5 cards to hit 10. Grim Lavamancer's still probably better than that. You have hit like one of your lands, and I think if you hit on the first draw, you're great with the 6-carder, which has 1 land, so you're 1 out of 3 to have a great hand, and like then if you hit on the second draw, which is 2 out of 9, so you're like 5/9 to really get there. So it's like slightly over 50% to have a hand that's capable of doing stuff. Uh, versus an opponent's 6 versus I have to do some yeah hand math for the other one. Yeah, I don't know. That call's really close. I don't know if it really changes play draw that much. I guess yeah, that's definitely a scenario where I should have thought about if I'd keep on the draw because it's definitely a scenario where my card count doesn't really matter too much. Uh, in this deck my opponent's card count doesn't matter too much in the matchup. Like I'm playing Goblin Guide, like you just give him a free card. So if you're on the play and you miss your land drop and hit the next turn, it's approximately the same as being on the draw and hitting on the first turn. Though being on the play, the thing is that being on a play really magnifies the one drop. So your 5 card comparison gets a lot better. I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to keep. It's hard to say.